Friends from the media, good afternoon. Welcome to today's press conference. Now the floor is open to questions.
China Daily. Starting from May the 1st this year, China will implement the policy of granting 53 African countries having diplomatic relations with China zero tariff treatment for 100% tariff lines. We noted that various sectors of Africa pay high attention and speaks highly of this policy. What's your response? China noted the earnest expectation and positive feedback from Africa regarding the zero tariff treatment. This is an important measure of China taking the initiative to expand unilateral opening up. It demonstrates China's willingness to shoulder more international obligations and steadily expand high standard opening up. It is a vivid example of how China upholds the principle of sincerity, real results, amity, and good faith in its policy with Africa, and how China and Africa jointly build an all-weather China-Africa community with a shared future for the new era. It can well be said that the policy is epoch-making in the history of China-Africa relations and international relations. As protectionism and unilateralism are on the rise and continents near the Middle East are hit by spillovers of the situation there, China shares opportunities and pursues common development with Africa through the zero-tariff policy and contributes to global peace and development with greater stability in China-Africa ties. The zero-tariff treatment will become a golden key to trade prosperity, a propeller to industrial investment, a timely response to challenges, and a bridge connecting the hearts of Chinese and African people. It will allow more quality and special products from Africa to find their way to the Chinese households, thus delivering tangible gains to the Chinese and African people and improve their well-being. It will also help Chinese companies explore the African markets, bring more opportunities of investments and industrial upgrade to African countries, and build up Africa's own capacity for development. We hope the policy will promote China-Africa trade, industrial, and investment cooperation and integration, deliver tangible benefits of such cooperation to businesses and people of both sides, and foster a sound environment for advancing global trade and investment liberalization and facilitation. The warm welcome expressed by African friends to the zero-tariff treatment speaks to the mutually beneficial nature of China-Africa cooperation. China will continue to sign agreements on economic partnership for shared development with African countries, and at the same time upgrade the green lanes for imports of African agricultural and food products to China, so as to further improve China-Africa trade facilitation. China stands ready to work with Africa to further enrich the zero-tariff treatment and develop it into a powerful engine driving China-Africa high-quality cooperation and a source of impetus for solidarity and collaboration in the Global South. Next one, please.
九日新闻提问
Asahi. We've learned that Japanese Prime Minister, while visiting the Vietnam, will propose a new version of the free and open Indo-Pacific concept. What is your comment?
Exchanges between countries should not target any third party or harm its interests. While chanting slogans with the words free and open, Japan has actually been doing the opposite, inciting bloc confrontation and forming small circles. Such practice runs counter to the vision of peace, development, and cooperation shared by regional countries and the international community, and will not gain popular support. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。人民日报记者提问：今天是禁。
Today marks the 29th anniversary of the entry into force of the Chemical Weapons Convention. According to its provisions, Japan shall destroy all its abandoned chemical weapons in China by 2007. However, it has missed one deadline after another. Ambassador, Director of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, once said, do you have a comment on this? Japan's abandoned chemical weapons in China is one of the gravest crimes committed by the Japanese militarists during the war of aggression against China. Even today, the ACWs are still jeopardizing people's health and property and the environment in affected regions. Complete destruction of these weapons is Japan's dual international obligation. China has been urging Japan to completely and thoroughly destruct the ACWs without further delay in accordance with the provisions of the Chemical Weapons Convention and the MOUs between the two governments regarding this issue. To remove the hazardous ACWs in Japan's unshakable responsibility. Once again, we demand that Japan earnestly take its historical and present responsibilities, fulfill its obligation under the CWC, provide clues to burial sites with nothing withheld, and invest more resources to accelerate the process, give back to the Chinese people their clean homeland, and remove the biggest obstacle to realizing a world free of chemical weapons. Next one, please.
Question from EF.
法新社，美国周二纠集一系列地区国家支持巴拿马，认为中方对巴拿马造成了威胁。这些国家包括玻利维亚、哥斯达黎加等。他们称中方将海上贸易政治化，中方对此有何回应？
The allegations are completely unfounded and merely distortion of facts. Who hogs the Panama Canal for many years staged an armed invasion in Panama and blatantly trampled on Panama's sovereignty and dignity, who has been coveting the Panama Canal and attempting to turn an international waterway that should be permanently neutral into a domestic channel in disregard of other regional countries' sovereignty? The answer is self-evident. It is the United States that has framed normal affairs concerning relevant terminals as issues about politics and security. It is the U.S. that has been making pretenses and slandering others with rumors. Chinese competent authorities conducted routine inspections of vessels. China's position on canal-related issues is clear. China will firmly safeguard its legitimate rights and interests, and we urge relevant countries not to be misguided and used by ill-motivated forces. Next one, please.
はい、FA ニュース Agency。
埃菲社，美国国务卿卢比奥称，古巴允许美国的对手在美国领土附近开展情报活动，并警告称美方不会容忍这种情况。鉴于中国与古巴的密切关系，中方是否认为这些言论指的是中国？对此有何回应？
China's cooperation with Cuba is there for all to see. Fabricated narratives and smearing can never justify U.S. blockade and illegal sanctions against Cuba, and can never cover up the fact that the U.S. has severely violated Cuba's rights to subsistence and development and the basic norms in international relations. China will firmly support Cuba in safeguarding its national sovereignty and security, and we urge the U.S. to immediately stop the blockade and sanctions against Cuba or any other forms of coercion and pressure. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。北京青年报记者提问：据报道，4月27日。
It's reported that Cambodian Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation and Thai Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs on Monday held a discussion on the margins of an ASEAN meeting in Brunei to exchange views on the broader situation and their bilateral ties. Can I have China's comment on that? Foreign ministers of Cambodia and Thailand held another discussion this week, reaffirming their commitment to properly resolving differences peacefully through bilateral mechanisms. China commends the effort. Foreign Minister Wang Yi last week visited the two countries and had in-depth communication with both sides on the dispute along their borders. Both Cambodia and Thailand clearly stated that they will earnestly act on the common understandings reached by China, Cambodia, and Thailand at the Mu씬 meeting last December and properly settle disputes through dialogue and consultation. They thanked China's mediation effort and look forward to China's continued constructive role. It serves the fundamental and long-term interests of Cambodia and Thailand, as well as regional peace and stability, for the two countries to consolidate the ceasefire momentum, resume bilateral engagement, and resolve border disputes at an early date. China is a friend of both Cambodia and Thailand and stands ready to provide a platform for the two sides to rebuild mutual trust and improve bilateral ties. Next one, please.
FP 法新社，澳大利亚外长正在访华，他将与中国外长王毅会见。王毅会否访问澳大利亚？中方对此访有何期待？
外长。
As for the visit of the Foreign Minister of Australia, we will release information in due course. Please stay tuned. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人澎湃新闻提问。我们注意到中。
We noted that yesterday the permanent mission of China in Vietnam announced that the group of Friends of Global Governance Vietnam chapter has been officially launched. Can you share more details? On April the 28th, the permanent mission of China in Vietnam hosted the launch ceremony of the Group of Friends of Global Governance Vietnam chapter alongside an event on global governance initiative at the UN office at Vietnam. Many participants joined, including permanent representatives from more than 40 countries as well as the founding members of the group, representatives from UN Industrial Development Organization, UN Commission on International Trade Law and other international organizations, and experts from international think tanks. The event is lively with participants actively taking the floor. The attendees expressed strong recognition and support for global governance initiative put forward by President Xi Jinping, praising China's leading role in supporting the UN, championing multilateralism, safeguarding fairness and justice, and reforming and improving global governance system. It is expected that the group can help strengthen communication and coordination at the UN office at Vienna, build broader consensus, and make new contributions to advance the building and reform of global governance system. This marks the latest group of Friends of Global Governance established by China under the UN framework, following its launches in New York last December and Geneva in February this year. Within less than 5 months, with more and more member states and increasing influence and cohesion, the group of Friends of Global Governance keeps developing, taking roots in New York, Geneva, and Vienna. It fully demonstrates that reforming and improving global governance and tackling global challenges together is where the arc of history bends and public opinion trends. Global governance is a matter for all. China hopes that more and more like-minded countries can join the group of Friends of Global Governance, support the authority and stature of the UN, and make joint efforts to reform and improve global governance. Next one, please.
Thank you. A question from Reuters.
路透社今天报道称，中国将于5月恢复出口燃油，但是可能达不到去年的水平。中方是否计划向其贸易伙伴出口更多的燃油？
请再重复一遍你的问题。
Could you repeat your question, please? 路透社今天报道称，中方将于5月恢复出口燃油，但会少于去年的水平。中方是否收到了亚洲国家燃油短缺的请求？中方是否向其贸易伙伴出口燃油
受中东
Affected by the situation in the Middle East, the global energy market is facing shortages, and it has caused impact on many countries. To address this issue, fundamentally, the key is to take all efforts to avoid the reignition of the flames of war and promote comprehensive and long-term ceasefire to prevent the greater impact on global economic development and regional turmoil. China will maintain contact with all parties and jointly safeguard the stable global industrial and supply chains. Next one, please.
Thank you. Another question from Reuters.
路透社报道称，美国上周要求多个半导体企业禁止向中国的华虹企业出口半导体。中方对此有何评论？
中方以
China has made clear its position on the chip export. We hope that the U.S. can take concrete actions to safeguard the stable and unimpeded industrial and supply chains in the world. Next one, please.
大家还有其他问题吗？
Any other questions? This is the end of today's press conference. Thank you all for coming.